Hey folks, today is Friday, November 14th, 2025. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. We got a stacked week, new game announcements and stuff like that. But for a second, if you could spare me just 20 seconds, a rare gameranx announcement.
Single player gamers are looked at like this tiny little demographic of nobodies, but we matter. And gameranx is putting together a membership program called the 1% Club. The 1% Club in reverse. We're not the elite. We're passed over when all these publishers decide what games they're going to make. Should join your cranky old bird pal. The first thing we're putting up is The Falcon Show. That's a weekly members-only podcast you can only get by becoming a member today. So thank you so much for doing so, and we look forward to seeing you there.
That's right, gameranx is now offering YouTube memberships. We've started the 1% or 1P club, get it, one player. Many of you have asked in the past, wanted to support gameranx. Now you can, and you get some little perks and some extra content. First, The Falcon Show, a podcast with our writers Eric and Kevin and Falcon behind the scenes. That's what we've got going on first. The team's gonna see how that goes and based on feedback, go from there. I'm not on this content yet, so keep your eyes peeled. If you've already signed up to support us or you're considering it, thank you. If not, I get it. No pressure. We still got videos here for you every single day, especially with the news. So let's just jump in. The first thing is, what is Ubisoft doing? Ubisoft has done something that people did not see coming. They were about to do their earnings call, the thing that we always get news from, where the corporations come and they talk about their earnings and their expectations and money they brought in and projections and all that with investors. A very normal, routine thing done by companies all around the world. Right before that was about to happen, they pump the brakes on it. A last-minute delay to its earnings release and a request to halt trading, which of course did alarm people, both I guess like investors and players who follow the news alike, because you don't really see this every day. Yesterday, they put out a quick press release that said, and I quote, that the company has decided to postpone sharing its earnings until the publication of its first half 2025-2026 results. Ubisoft will inform the market of the date on which trading will restart. This trading suspension will apparently remain for a few days, and they're going to publish it soon, but that has of course led to speculation as to what this means. With their accounting or some other financial issue, or the potential upcoming announcement of an acquisition or some sort of move. And we've talked in the past a lot about how Ubisoft has been in hot water financially, but also having conversations about acquisitions. Years ago, of course, they had fended off hostile takeovers. Not too long ago, they also kind of did a co-joint thing with another bigger publisher and kind of cordoned off some of their IP over there. So it has been interesting for Ubisoft, and I'm curious to see what the hell this means. Personally, loosely following this type of stuff, like I don't know anything, but I could see it be some sort of announcement of an acquisition or agreement, but we just don't know for sure. Either way, I think it's funny that they just did it so suddenly. Apparently 15 minutes before their earnings call with investors thing actually went down. Classic Ubisoft. We're going to talk about them a little bit more in a bit with one of their new games they released. But for now, let me know what you guys think of this. Next up, in case you missed it, Valve announced new hardware. Yes, Steam hardware, a suite of 3 different devices. The first is a new Steam controller. You know, the old Steam controller was considered a failure by a lot of people, but it had its fans. But now, essentially what we're getting is a good, solid Steam controller that is essentially a Steam Deck, but without the screen in the middle. It's got all the features you want. Apparently really, really long battery life, over 30 hours. Along with that, Steam Frame, a new VR headset. It's not like a hardcore $1,000 VR headset, but one that will apparently have good streaming technology to stream games right to the headset, but you will also be able to play games natively downloaded to the headset, like something like a Meta Quest 3, of course. And last but certainly not least, another attempt at Steam machines. This time around, it's different because of everything they've done with Steam OS and the Steam Deck, and this little device is apparently going to be 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck. It's going to be able to run all sorts of games. They said 4K 60 FPS with FSR, based in Steam OS, but of course you can hack it, you can do whatever you want, add operating systems because Valve is open like that. And long story short, like we did do a whole video talking about it individually. If you want to check that out, it's linked in the description down below, but chances are most of you are caught up on these devices already. No prices yet. We know they're hardware coming in 2026, and top level, I find this very exciting. And just looking online, it seems like the sentiment is positive and people are just excited about new and interesting approaches to hardware. Do I think that the Steam machine is going to compete with like PlayStation and Nintendo? No, absolutely not. But in this new kind of storefront ecosystem war, especially even with Xbox pivoting to more Microsoft and Windows stuff, I do think this is interesting. And I also just think it's a great move for Valve, considering they have so many users. They've gotten some new PC gaming users just with Steam Deck alone. And I know this is not going to be a device for everybody. Me personally, I want, like my PC right now, I have a 5080 and like I'm good with that. I don't need this little quirky set-top box. But still, as someone who just loves Steam OS, I want to see the proliferation of that, and I think this is a good move. And just judging online too, it seems like not everybody needs the most butt-ripping, insane hardware. A lot of people are happy to have this type of console at their TV or whatever, because either they want to dip their toe into the Steam world or, have more flexibility, or they have an existing library. Either way, I just think this is interesting and good. And when this hardware does release, we're going to evaluate it and see if it's worth a damn. I just like this whole thing because like Valve has done versions of these products in the past. But again, I think the Steam Deck was kind of the kickoff in terms of them learning data, working with developers, working with the Linux community, and really getting it right. So that's why I think this is poised for some sort of success. Change the gaming world overnight? No, but I think it's more subtle, more nuanced than that. And as someone who just likes this stuff, I'm excited to dig into it. A lot of press, influencers, websites and stuff, YouTubers got their hands on these devices. There are great preview videos out there if you want to learn some information. And Road to VR spoke to Valve and asked if they were doing another first-party VR game experience like a Half-Life Alyx. Are they making anything? And Valve apparently told them straight up, no, we're not. So we don't know if they're making any games at all. A lot of people still are asking about Half-Life 3. We've heard the rumblings that things are in the works, but for right now, it seems like officially from Valve, it is not a VR game. Who knows if it's any game, really? Valve is so weird. Next up in this busy world, this busy holiday season, it can be tricky to keep track of finance stuff, right? We're talking money in, money out, bills, surprises, and subscriptions, right? You all have the subscriptions you care about, the important stuff you're subscribed to, but me personally, the small stuff gets me. When I subscribe to something that's like $1 or $2 a month and then I completely forget about it, and then I look at my statement and see that I was charged. Those little things that you never get around to canceling. Thankfully, the sponsor of this video, Rocket Money, can help out with that. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. Matter of fact, I've actually been using Rocket Money for a few years now to keep on top of things, and what I really like is that when you set it up, you can look at all your subscriptions at a glance. It's organized, it's good. Then when you're there, you can go in and select one of those subscriptions and have Rocket Money cancel it for you. So you don't have to talk to anyone on the phone. Just a few button taps and you're good to go. And that is a great feature for me personally. But again, it's an all-in-one finance platform. There's so much you can do. You can monitor your credit and you can set up a custom budget with spending limits and notifications so that you're always aware when you're about to go over your limit. It really keeps you in check. It keeps you on top of things at a glance, all your finances. I definitely recommend it. Believe it or not, Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when using all the premium features. By clicking the link in the description down below to get started for free and then unlock even more features with premium. Click the link in the description down below. Again, it's rocketmoney.com/gameranx to get started for free and then unlock more features with premium. rocketmoney.com/gameranx. Big thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Now back to the news. Next up, Rockstar is in the news once again. Last week, of course, we talked about the layoff issues as well as Grand Theft Auto 6's delay, but this week it's Red Dead Redemption getting released again. Yes, December 2nd, we're getting a version for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch 2, mobile being iOS and Android, and Netflix games if you have a Netflix subscription. They've done this in the past. Also, apparently, the versions, if you have like the PS4 version, it's going to be upgraded, which is nice. It's going to be Red Dead and Undead Nightmare. This isn't like the biggest deal or anything like that, but it is nice that more people are going to experience what I think is a great video game story. I'm not gonna lie, I was on my phone the other day, like in a waiting room, and when I saw the news pop on my phone, I read it as Red Dead Redemption 2 for PS5, and that's a port that a lot of people wanted, myself included, and I was like, oh. And then I saw it was just Red Dead again. Still cool, but not as cool. Either way, I'm being greedy. Either way, long story short, Red Dead Redemption is good. Play it. You now have more reasons and less excuses to play it. Along with that, Red Dead Revolver is also still good. Don't forget about that one. That's like the weird, ugly stepchild that no one cares about. This week there was a PlayStation State of Play, but it was specifically focused around Japanese games and the development therein. The biggest thing, it was pretty interesting, but the biggest thing worth pointing out for the sake of time here, if you want to check it out, it's all linked below. But the biggest thing is Elden Ring Nightreign, The Forsaken Hollows, an update to Nightreign for the people who blasted through that when that released, because I feel like it kind of came and went. Now you're getting more content. Along with that, separately, PlayStation has been announcing quite a few things, including a 27-inch gaming monitor. If you're looking to play your PlayStation 5 at a desk, you're going to be able to purchase this if you just really want Sony first-hand products. This is a QHD IPS display, 2560 by 1440 with HDR, 240 hertz. And big old PlayStation branding. It looks like it definitely matches the console. Along with that, some unconventional announcements, a new Horizon game, but it's a PC and mobile thing. This is developed by NCSoft, licensed by PlayStation and Guerrilla Games. And yeah, it's going to be you and other people running around and hunting machines. This is pretty insane that this is going to be on mobile. I'm curious to see if it's actually going to look like this. A lot of YouTube comments and jokes called it like Horizon Zero frame rate. But yeah, it seems like this is something that not everybody wants. But again, they're going for an international audience and some people eat up these style of games. So we'll see what happens. Along with that, a new Ratchet and Clank game. But no, another one, not what you're expecting. This is Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble. This is a, quote, mobile multiplayer third-person action shooter. Pre-registration for this is up, and yeah, just an interesting back-to-back suite of announcements, PlayStation adjacent. Now, I think with Ratchet and Clank, like, all right, it's fine. We got a game a couple of years back, but if they did this with a property like Sly Cooper or something like that, they brought them back just to make a mobile game, people would be more pissed. Either way, I am not the target audience for these types of games, so let me know what you think. Are you going to try them? Next up, in some brief preview news, I got my hands on Metroid Prime 4. I got to go to a hands-on preview event and play 2 hours of a work-in-progress version of the game, and I have a lot of thoughts. I'm working on a video on my channel, youtube.com/Jake Baldino. I'll link that below when it is available, but it is worth pointing out that for me, it is very Metroid. I know that sounds silly, but I got to play the intro version of the game, like the starting sequence, which was incredibly cinematic and awesome, and your Samus with all her powers. And then I got to play more of like the regular exploration flow of the game. Kind of an earlier region. It kind of looked like the first Halo 3 planet you start out on. You're exploring temples. I got to play with Samus's new telekinetic abilities, which, you know, you can use to open doors and scan objects and stuff like that and grab things. But more importantly, it would tie into your weapons. So my regular old beam, when using the psychic powers, I was able to shoot it like a missile that I could steer in 3D. Morph balls also, when you drop a morph ball with the psychic powers, I was able to then telekinetically grab that morph ball bomb and then do whatever I needed to with it to solve a puzzle or kill an enemy. So a lot of interesting little tweaks here and there, but in terms of the exploration, finding missile packs, finding expansion tanks, very, very much Metroid. Very, very feeling like a new Prime game. Lonely, mysterious, weird, but just now way better graphics, extremely high frame rate, and a lot more detail. The one interesting thing that I did not really like is that you stumble upon an NPC, a Federation engineer named Miles McKenzie, who's kind of like a dork kind of archetype guy. And yeah, you got to listen to him. There's parts where he follows you around and you kind of escort him. And then he's in your ear in the radio giving you hints, which to me feels distinctly against the flow of these types of games. Metroid Prime 3, I believe, like had dialogue and NPCs and stuff like that, but not in a way like this where they're actively kind of more in the field with you. The Metroid Prime games, or really all the way back from the original Metroid, the whole thing is being like alone on a weird planet. And this kind of takes away from that. The character just was not very compelling, he just kind of felt like a Rick Moranis archetype. And I don't know. I'm curious to see how that goes. I still have a lot of questions about the game in terms of the flow, the hub world, and how the motorcycle works. But moment to moment combat and engaging with puzzles, I got to see exactly what I need from a Metroid game. It's just that one annoying NPC guy. I'm curious to see how far they push it. But next up, some games releasing this week. Don't miss the last episodes for Dispatch have dropped, a game that I recommend. We did a before you buy on that. Also, it's Call of Duty time. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is now out. I've been seeing some weird things about the campaign. And as a campaign enjoyer, I have some questions. But we are playing through that. We'll have a Before You Buy up at some point. But I have been busy personally with Before You Buys on Anno 117. This is the Roman Empire themed new Anno game, City Builder. I have been absolutely loving it, dude. I'm just a sucker for these types of games. I can't help myself. But you might want to look into that one. Also, Where Winds Meet released this week. This is a massive free-to-play RPG MMO light that is incredibly ambitious with how many gameplay elements it tackles in and crams into one game. It's not really my style of thing. It's kind of like a Genshin Impact on steroids with like co-op raids, PvP, PvE, building your own like little buildings and stuff. There's so much going on. And then also it has like AAA production quality and single-player adventuring. It's a lot. So if you want to learn more about that, linked below. Also, don't admit, like Escape from Tarkov is releasing on Steam this weekend. So a lot of people are going to be exposed to this wild and intense world. Really the extraction shooter that really kicked things off. Also, Bethesda re-released like the 10-year anniversary edition of Fallout 4. It seems like Bethesda fans are not really happy with it, whether it's the content or just the price of this thing. I don't think we have time to cover that one. But also in terms of announcements, Fallout Season 2, the show for Amazon, got a great new trailer highlighting more of New Vegas, which is very cool to see. And don't miss it, Super Mario Galaxy. The next Super Mario Brothers movie got this big old trailer featuring Bowser Jr., kind of like hints towards some of the world of Super Mario Odyssey, as well as Galaxy stuff, and it's cool. Look, I like these movies. I like the first one. I got some flack for that, but they're fun. They're harmless. They don't feel like I expected, but yeah, so check that out. And check out anything we talked about this week. It's been a stacked week. I got to get back to work. So let me know what you think about all the stuff going on, from Valve's Steam console to whatever the hell Ubisoft is doing to, of course, anything that Sony announced during that state of play, anything that caught your eye. Let's talk anything video game news down in the comments. Thank you for those of you who checked out the YouTube memberships button. We do appreciate that. Maybe I'll see you on there at some point, but either way, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this stuff. We'll be down there as much as possible, but if you want to yell at me directly, find me on social media and YouTube. Just look up Jake Baldino. But thank you for getting caught up on the news real quick. I had to be a quick one because I got to get back to some Before You Buys, but clicking the like button helps us. Thank you. But that's it. I've asked enough of you guys. Just have a great weekend. Be safe. I'm Jake Baldino. Pizza's on me.